Hello everybody, my name is Fancy Munchlex. In this video, I'm going to show you, talking to you about Red, Green, Luffy and Ace. So I'll start off with like some tech cards that I want to talk about before I get into the main video, the main deck list, like my actual deck list, and I'll just like eliminate the cards I've talked about as we go through them. So I believe I'll go through the main cards I put in the deck first. So for Inazuma, because it's Lead Effect. Always start with Lead Effect. You're a 4F 6k, and then if you have any 7,000 power or more characters on your board, you base power, by the way, so Don won't make you a reduced leader. You become a 4k leader on your turn and your opponent's turn. So realistically, you're only playing 6,000 character or less power or less characters in the deck. And then opponent's turn, all your Luffy's and Ace gain plus 3k, making your board very hard to kill. Just always, actually, yeah. So your opponent is basically forced into punching your 6k leader. But note that it only buffs your Luffy's and Aces. So, the core of this deck is the Inazuma Searcher, because obviously you're playing 6,000 power characters. This searches the top 5 for any 6,000 power character, no matter the color or the cost. It's very strong. Grabs like any of your tech, like all of the. It just helps you justify so many of these tech cards that I have here, because it just grabs them. And Ivankov is also an insane search for this deck. You reveal two 6,000 power or more characters. No, 6,000 power exactly characters, and you draw 3 trash 2. So this is almost like the, like a top 3 searcher. You add 1 and you get rid of 2, but then you can also use it to like filter your hand. So if you see like a bunch of cards do that, you just keep them and get rid of the bad ones. This 4-cost Ace, maybe it's like a 3-off. I've been thinking about it. It's probably more of a 3-off card, but it's a 4-cost 6k. Ignore the second effect. If you ever use the second effect, you will boost the Luffy's base power to 7,000, making your leader 4,000. Technically you'll make your leader 5,000 because you'll gain the base and then minus 2. Anyway, don't use the second effect. It's just here for its first effect, being if your name includes Ace, which we do include Ace. You give this card minus 2 in your hand, so it's a 2-cost 6k, which is really good for accelerating the pace of the game, and then also 9k on defense because it's Luffy. Just a really good card. You can use like on 7 Don, assuming you have enough searches, you can like swim with some of your searches, and then play Lure, bouncing whatever to hand, and playing a 5-cost Bonnie, drawing a couple cards, trashing 1, restanding a Don, and then play this Luffy. So you play 3 characters, 3 6-8 characters. Two of them are blockers, and this one's 9k power on your 7 Don turn. So a really good turn. Very flexible card. Play on you can even play it on 4 if you have to sometimes. And then this Ace. This Ace is like one. It's mainly here to facilitate the counter event. That's like plus 3 draw 1 if you have Luffy and Ace. But because this card is a 4/6 on play, you rest 1 and it gains rush. Because we're a faster deck, right? We're only playing 6,000 character to characters, which means we don't scale as well into the late game. So naturally, this deck is a faster deck. So being an Ace that has rush and also a decent when attacking of just giving 1 character minus 1k. Helps you combo your removal pieces like Megalo and such, or any other cheat that you choose to play, like Impact or Mulcan or anything like that. It just helps combo those. And it's also boosted on your opponent's turn. So it's just a very strong card for this deck. Maybe it's a 2-of, depending on how many of the other Aces you run. But yeah, and then we also have this 5-cost Ace. This is a really good card. I think I probably want a couple more of it. The problem with it always feels a bit slow, because it doesn't have rush, obviously, compared to the other Ace. But it's all character cards in your hand with 8,000 power become 2k counter. So not really relevant in this deck, because there's only like 1 possible card we could play. What are the other ones? Like Mihawk, but like you never run that. So realistically, there's only 1 card to be fast enough to justify that. So ignore this first part basically. But then on play and KO, you do a top 5 search for Luffy or Whitebeard Pirates. So this will search all your Aces, and it will search your Luffy's. And any counter events that will also happen to have Whitebeard Pirates or the stage. It's just, I'll go to the stage now. The stage is also a really great stage for this deck. It's on play. If you look at the top 3, you add 1 card to your hand, you don't show your opponent, and you put the rest at the bottom, and then you trash the stage at any point in the game to give 1 Don. So it's a really free rate. You can imagine how great of a search this is. You don't show your opponent, you pick any card in the deck, doesn't care, and then you also get to give the Don back. So it's literally free. Previously, before this card was revealed, I was running this Boa to do basically the exact same thing, but worse. So this card is just like really good. So I think you definitely play like all of the 1-cost searches because they're really good this deck. And then you play this just rush Luffy. It's probably a 4 of actually. So it's a 5/6 rush, and then when attacking with 1 on 2, you lead your character. So normally you're using this to make it a 5/7 rush, and then so it's a really fast card. Like even on 5s, you go 5/7, and your opponent isn't getting this because it's a 9k. And because it's a when attacking effect, you can get 2 values out of it off your brook, which allows you your character that you restand to just gain that much more value because you scale upwards in your swings even after playing the brook. It's really good because the brook obviously makes you attack again, and so you get the second one attacking. Iron is also like an amazing card just in this meta in general. 7 cost, set anything to 0 power for the turn. 6k with no counter, so it's very costly, right? 7 cost, no counter, only a 6k body, but you're effectively removing any rested card, right? Think of this as a round table, but for 3 Don extra, you gain a body. So it's definitely a worse card than round table, but round table was so good that this card is like still playable, right? Because another thing with this card is you don't ever really like play more than one in game. There's like normally one really good turn to play it to hinder your opponent enough to where you just probably kill them the next turn, or you apply lots of pressure and then kill them the turn after. But you only really have ever one timing to play this card, which is why it makes it a bit harder to justify. But when you see this and you kill like that big 9 cost, 8 cost, 10 cost, it's insane. Especially like a 10 cost blocker, right? You bait them to block in somehow, or you just rest a blocker with your 4 cost Luffy that rests a blocker when attacking, and all of a sudden their big dude is just dead before it gets to do anything. So it's a very powerful card. It's just a matter of like finding space for it. Let me have this Gaudino 2k. So originally I misread this because it gives two 6,000 power characters 2 rested on each. So I thought it was 2 rested on to 1 character, but it's actually 2. So this is like a really good aggressive tool because you pay 2 and then you gain 4 Dons worth of value in Don given, and then your opponent has to like respect this or else it's going to like, keep accumulating value. One thing is that with this deck, when you're playing out 2ks, you don't have any card draw. So every card that you play out is actually a valuable counterpiece, so you have to be mindful of that. Similar to like Megalo, you 4 cost 4,000 power 2k, on play you rest it, and then you KO at 8k. And that's really good because obviously there's a bunch of AKs in the meta. Think the Shiryu from Black Yellow Teach, think the Admirals from Purple Sengoku, even Robin if you're like healthy enough and can justify it. If you know that Robin's going to force you to take it life anyway next turn, you just kill it. And then it stops getting value, obviously. But you also combo it with like this when attacking, or any other like power reduction you could possibly play. But you also play it like this when attacking, so you can actually start killing 9ks, and then just like then you start killing like the 7 cost boa in blue green Luffy, right? You just have like so many targets with this card, and it's also a 2k for some reason. It's just an amazing card to be running. For Luffy, this is a 4/6 pay 1 extra on play to gain rush, so you can just park it on 4, but also something of it goes like 6/6 on your 5 turn, and when attacking it rests a blocker. It doesn't care about the cost, so just like rest any blocker. It's really good, right? You combo with your reduction, whatever, just use it to go for lethal. Just really good, right? Yeah, you don't need to switch. Like it's such a simple effect that it feels redundant to explain it, but also it's so powerful. And then there's Bonnie. This Bonnie is a 5/6 1k blocker. If you have 8 or more rested cards, so this can be accommodated for by just swinging with your searches, like 2 at 5 and their leader, and now that they're rested, they just fulfill the Bonnie effect, and it's just draw 2, trash 1, and then set 1 was active. So like I mentioned beforehand, so if you play this on 6, you can also then play the small Luffy, or on 7 you can use it to play the Law, and then play this, and then play the small Luffy. It's like a nice high roll option that also filters your hand, because previously, before I was running the Vancouver, the deck was bricky, so maybe it's not needed anymore. You definitely don't need 4 of it, but I think just for demonstration's sake, we'll put it at 4 here. And then lastly, like the main core card, I'd say, is the 6 cost Law. Originally I wasn't running it, but like, if you're already playing a 5 cost, so, hang on, there's these. We play 6, and then you would play 1 character 5 or less from your hand. So my original gripe with this card was that originally all your dudes had rush, so playing it rested didn't feel good. But now you have you have like, these. But now you have so many more cards that can, like, specifically this Ace and the Bonnie that can then combo with Luffy. It's really good. Also, the problem with playing it rested is that if you were playing a brother, it meant that the brother wasn't gaining rush, and if you weren't playing a brother, it means it was only a 6k, and your opponent could typically just punch it, and then you'd have to force cards out of your hand, or die, and it didn't really do anything that way. But because you have these new combo lines, and you have new targets to play off it, I think it actually makes the deck list a very good card. Helps your board spam so much. And then we have this counter event, so +3 always, and then if you have a Luffy and an Ace of 6,000 power, so this dude won't count for it, has to be exactly 6k. One of each exactly 6k, you draw one. So mini Mamoragan, I guess. Mamoragan and Giant had a baby, but it was like a bit worse. But also you give it any red-green deck card draw, and it's probably not going to say no to it. This card just does not draw cards. And then I'll go over the tech cards, right? So this is a Shaki, top 5 for any red event or Luffy. As you can imagine, we play lots of Luffys for our leader effect, and we have some good options for red events, but ultimately doesn't make the cut because we have such amazing searches. So Kobe, I'll talk about in Tiny Laboon. So this is anti-removal. When one of your characters would be removed, 7,000 power less, but they're all 7,000 power less. You instead minus your leader by 2k. Why the fuck would you want to be doing that? Like, they go to play a Zeus, and you have the decision of get the shit smacked out of you, or let your character die. I think Laboon is like, it's also, they were about 2ks, by the way, so that's the real reason you run them is they're 2ks. This Laboon has an equally annoying downside for this deck, where you have to rest 2 of your cards. So typically that will be like searches or your stage, but like sometimes you can rest an active character. It's much better than the Kobe, but like still I don't think either of them are great for the deck. And in a similar vein, Little Oars, so character would be removed by opponent's effect. You may instead trash this character and draw 1. So it actually goes hand neutral. So in a deck where they are repeatedly removing your cards, it's actually really good because they are basically forced to go through it, and then you still go hand neutral just for 1 Don. But it's not a 2k, so it's harder to justify in the deck. More of a, we'll see how the meta shapes. But I think it'll be quite good into decks like Anel, for sure. Because they use lots of Elthor's. Also, no, if they Mamoragan this, it doesn't get the draw, but whatever, because then they Mamoragan do a little dude, it doesn't really matter. So those are the anti-removal cards this deck has. Pretty good options, but we'll just have to see how the meta adapts, right? Because the deck list is very tight. Oh, wait, one more buggy. If one of your dudes would be removed, you may instead rest it, and it's a blocker. I think this is probably the best anti-removal, which is not a 2k. Because it's also a chump blocker that like protects your board, so it's pretty strong. If I was to play one, probably be this, maybe Little Oars. Yeah. Unless I was like to just play the 2k instead. If I was to play one, it'd be this, probably. But we'll have to see how the meta shapes. The deck list is quite tight. Your core is so heavy, is already so full, that it's really hard to even find like 3-4 tech spaces. So I think it will just come, and you have so many like options. You can see here we have so many tools to help, but like just right now that I can think of the top of my head to help us deal with the meta. That we'll just have to see how it shapes up. We'll make the meta call on the day of the event on what we think is popular, and we go from there. So that's that card. Shanks. Boa is very similar to Shaki, except you can trash it to give 2 Don. Into a Nail, this kind of sucks because they just Elthor at rate 2,000 power. And the stage is just like whatever this card could do, but better. Because it's like top 5, same as Shaki Search. It's a strong card, I really liked it when I played it, but we also now have the 2 cost Luffy. Where is he? The 2 cost 4k Luffy. That is also like played in the same timing as this used to be before like this was revealed, so we just don't need it anymore. And the Shanks, Baccarat, yeah. So initially, I was playing Baccarat just for a nice 3-Don play, and I still would consider this, right, because we have nothing to play on 3. As you can say, it's all 5. So I'm still looking for a good 3-Don play, because I haven't found one. I guess Chopper is like the closest thing, other than Baccarat, and it's like not an even amazing card. Like there's nothing super appealing here to play on 3. So unless you're like playing a few searches, which isn't bad by any means, you know, you got like 5-6 with a searcher, or you play a couple searches. But this allows you to turn your bricks into 2ks and as a blocker with counter. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I liked it when I played it, but now the deck list is getting tighter. And Shanks does like the same effect as Baccarat, but it's a full cost 6k, so it's searchable off Inazuma. But because it comes out a turn later, it loses the main selling point of Baccarat, which was coming out on 3-Don turn. So which is why I don't run the Shanks, and I probably run more of this. So Monet, mainly it's like you play it off lore, and then it does a top 5 search for any event. Also meaning it would grab things like Electrical Luna, which is, oh, I should have had that here. stun, which like can stun an entire board for a turn. But like it's more of a toolboxy card to help you find events. We don't really have any power 1000 other than like the Lucy. Like these are the power 1000 character we have. That the Monet can also search. I guess it's just buggy. It's kind of nice. This dude, and then the power 0 is like not many, right? It doesn't have great targets, is my point, which is why it's not run. Rarely is like a budget option to the Bonnie. It has the draw 2 effect, draw 2 trash 1, if your opponent has 2 dudes on the field, which isn't always going to be the case actually, especially if you want to play it early, and it also loses the Donnery stand. And while we're here, I will talk about the Kobe, which is like the other half of the Bonnie effect on play. I'm pretty sure we are a strike leader. If we're not a strike leader, ignore this. But it will let you set 1 Donald's active. If I had to pick between them, I think I'd actually pick the Kobe, just because it allows us to combo our Luffy's, and it also doesn't have the resty character requirement, so there is a benefit to playing this over the Bonnie, kind of, whereas the Rayleigh is just a straight downside for a less important effect. So those are like the replacements to Bonnie if you can't afford them, because they are secret rares. So in initial testing, I'll probably just like run these at locals, doesn't really matter. How far are we in this video? 16 minutes. We got more to do. Stay with me. We got more. If you like this leader, thank you. Also, if you stayed 60 minutes in the video, like, actually thank you. I'm sure nobody has. If you have, like, I know it sounds cringy, but like, just let me know. I don't know how many people actually watch this far before the gameplay and who sticks ahead. So if I'm talking this much and nobody's watching it, probably fucks your attention over, or people just skip to the game, so there's no point. Just if you are actually interested in this level of breakdown of every card, please do tell me. So this card is like really, so on play, you become a 7k leader for the turn. So in theory, it's really good to help into aggro decks, but it's only really good on the turn you played it, and then after that, it's like a terrible body. Because like it's literally this ace effect, the one attacking, but it requires a Don, and it isn't big on defense. And also, if you play it off this law, you become a 7k leader, but then this Yasop is rested anyway, so they'll just punch the 6k. I think it can be good into like a Nell, because normally with a Nell, they'll go like 6 with a leader and then put 4 on. So they'll like play their whatever they're playing, and then they'll put 4 on your searcher and 4 on their leader and go like 6/6. So this kind of like saves you 1 card. But I think playing this card is more of a tempo loss than just giving up the extra card, to be honest. Because then you could have played this card that like rushed in and also ripped a card from your opponent's hand and made them take life, you know? It does have counter though, so there's merit to this card for sure. I'm just not crazy on it. And then some cards that we don't currently have access to, this Ace. If you have a Luffy on the field already, or Sabo, like, there's only like 1 good Sabo. This one that like draws cards. If you have a full board, it's actually okay. Just kind of no space for it. And these one. There's one of your cards is character. I don't even know. I think that's for the combo of the Navy dudes. Anyway, gives -3 on a 5/6. That's actually like, really good, to be honest. So I would like to like play this and try it when it comes out, but we have no clue when this is coming out because it's a promo in like block 5. I guess the leader is block 5, so maybe not that far away. But yeah, we don't know when this is coming out, so there's not been too long with it. This Nami isn't coming out till November, so we have a while. But on play, you give 1 rested on, and then every turn when attacking, draw 1 card. Holy shit! They let red draw a card for the first time in ever. This card just never draws cards, so this is immediately interesting to me. But I think it being such a small body, very unappealing. But I could see it working for sure. Especially because it just allows you just to extend the game like a turn or 2 potentially. Yeah, it's quite nice. This card I think is like pretty bait, to be honest. Now that we have this other 5 cost, originally I thought it was bad. And then we got this 5 cost, and now it's like super bad because obviously it depends on how much removal there is, but I didn't think there was any, because it doesn't protect you. Hang on, let me form my thoughts. So this board is when this character would be removed from the field by effect, you instead give it -2k. So if your opponent is removing this by effect, it would normally be cost-based reduction. So that could be relevant on like if you play this on 5 and then your opponent goes like Jozu on 6 and then it lives. But other than that, at any point in the game, they'll just bounce to your other character. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't just choose another character, because you're always going to have other options to be removed that are very equal, or even the other cards are more valuable, because then they have, like, when attackings, that they'd be bouncing them anyway. So it's like really only good on curve. It's like a 5/6 1k with a rush that's named Ace though, which is like a somewhat nice benefit. So if I really don't like this card in the end, I might go back to this just to have an Ace with a rush in the deck to proc the Luffy event, and also be a big body on defense. But I'm not big on it, and I think this card is just generally a lot better. So that's that. This 4-cost Luffy I think is exceptional. If your leader is multicolored, Luffy, if your opponent has 7 or less Don cards on their field, your opponent rests one of their Don at the start of the next main phase. So what this does is it makes them play with one less Don their turn, the next turn. So this is really good in, like, stopping a Nami from playing their Gecko on curve, or it stops them from playing their 5-cost Nami on curve into a Nell. Don't view this as stopping your opponent from playing their 6-cost on curve. They'll stop them playing 6-cost at all, because what they'll do, they'll have 5 active, 1 rested, so they'll minus the rested Don back into their Don deck with, like, any of their 0-cost events, so like -1 draw, and then they'll leader effect to add it back, and then they'll play their 6-cost now. So what this really does is prevent them from using their leader effect if they want to play their 6-cost now, which normally they do, because that's their main method of removing our bodies, because they're all 9Ks, they're quite hard for them to interact with. So they do want to get a big L on the board to start being able to, like, kill 2 things a turn, one by punching, one by removing. So preventing that, so forcing them to make the choice of losing the 2 swings or playing their L is really nice. It has a lot of application. It's not as searchable because it's not 6 on power, but it's also 8k on defense. This card directly competes with this 5-cost Bonnie. So this 5-cost Bonnie reads a bit differently. It's a 5/6/1, meaning it's more searchable, which is already a big reason, like, you might want to play this card over the Luffy. And it reads so, one of your opponent's rested characters or Don will not become active during the next refresh phase, meaning if your opponent has no rested Don, and they put them all onto a character, like say with their NL leader effect, you actually don't get to stun a Don. But this also, because this card won't prevent them from playing their 10-cost, where this one will, because obviously you just stun one of the Don, they don't restand. And then obviously they can't play the 10 because they'll have 9 Don. And this doesn't prevent that. And this is also, like, yeah, I said 6k searchable, and it also freezes characters. So the more I say it, like, actually the better this card sounds, but it's a lot smaller on defense. But I actually think this is a really good card. I don't know why it doesn't seem more played nowadays. Like, just turning off curve decks is kind of good. I'll give this card a try. I feel like I should have some, but this artwork feels so old to me. Like, OPO 7. Dang, this game's old now. I need to look through my SRs. In Carrot and Perona, very again similar. Carrot, Perona, and Crocodile, I'll go through them together because they're all similar. Carrot, when attacking on play, stun a 7-cost or less. Perona, on play, 2 opponent's 5-cost or less, like, rested. So, like, this is a nice blocker and swinging. And this, like, Croc is like a 6/6/1 blocker on play, stun a character. So this character is, I think, mainly here just to deal with, like, 7-cost or less. I don't think it's very good though, because it's very easy for your opponent just to send punches at it and, like, drain your hand. We'll have to see how relevant the 7-cost or less are in the meta. I think I prefer this card because your opponent actually, like, can't kill it. So then you'll just play, like, you'll play like a Bonnie or a Luffy from your hand. And it's actually really funny because then you go, like, Bonnie, draw 2, restand it on, and yeah. Or even a Megalo on their turn to, like, rest it, because it's played as active. But, like, both of these are doing similar things in stunning, but overall, I don't think stunning is what this deck is trying to achieve. Because when you're stunning characters, it somewhat implies that you're willing to slow down the pace of the game, which will favour you, but I don't think a slower pace of game actually favours this deck. So you're playing characters to stun, and then trying to convert the tempo that they lose into tempo that you gain by punching them, because they can't swing at your characters, I think. I think that's the vision, but I don't see it, to be honest. I don't think this deck is meant to be played with stun cards as a big focus, when you could be playing, like, a rush character that, like, actually advances your goal. or a character that's like let you flood an extra character. You know, so I just don't think that these cards are it right now. Those are this Facos promo Luffy, so it's a blocker. It's a Luffy blocker, meaning the leader actually buffs it, and then on play you rest 5 cost or less. So the problem with it is only an 8k blocker, which is like not actually that impactful in a 6k leader, because you don't get to swing with it, meaning it's very slow, which is not what this leader is trying to do. Again, you're trying to be a mid-range, somewhat fast deck. So, not in our best interest to play this card, I don't think. Although it is quite nice, being an 8k blocker. I just think not being able to swing with it to actually get its value of only like getting you out of like 1 extra maybe hit, isn't it? And then we also have Brook. I think this Brook actually is a staple in the deck, at least a one-off, so your opponent always has to be thinking about the threat of Brook. So Brook is on play, rest a card, then trash him, set one of your 8 cost or less active, because we are, of course, a Straw Hat leader. Just a really, really great card for lethal, pairs well with all your white attackings. So especially if you have like a Gaudino and you like give the 2 Dawn and then you swing with the 2 Dawn, the character the 2 Dawn, and then you restand it again and you get like even more value out of it. It's like really nice. If you like Brook, Gaudino, and then you like use stage and you have like really big swings and multiple of them. Very strong. We talked about this Hody. So Hody is 7/8. On play, you rest 2 dudes or Dawn, and then you add a life. So yours, because you're adding a life and you're already frail leader, it means you're probably killing your opponent on the turn you play this. But also it does have a 2k if you have the Ace on board, which I think is like a really nice reason to play this. But also like you're not always going to have this Ace on board, so don't view this as a 2k in the deck. View it as sometimes a 2k. But like, it could be a lethal tool that maybe one day we use. Then we go to like the events. So 0 cost event, search above this Ace, very simple. Ignore the main effect, we don't use it. It's just a 0 cost searchable. I don't think we actually struggle with bricking anymore, so I wouldn't run this. So this 1 cost event is like if you have 2 base 6ks or more, so base 6k characters, gain +4 for the battle. It's like a 1 cost +4, but it also has a trigger to KO a 6k, which is quite nice. But I think it's also searchable with this event. So the searchability. So when you're playing this, when you're playing this card, you're assuming firstly you've decided you want a +4k in the deck, and then you're saying, is the fact that this card has a trigger and is searchable off the Ace does that make it better than this event? Which is if you have if there is a character with 8,000 power or more, which one of your Luffy's or Ace will facilitate, because there'll be a 9k. Yeah. So you have to evaluate which one you believe is better. I think this is better than the other one because it has a better trigger and can be searched. What 2k character? Power 2000. What can you play off this out of curiosity? Trigger. Lucky Root, trash one with a 6k. Oh, that's really kind of a good card. Kind of like a weaker Bonnie. What's this then? Blocker, search. It's kind of a shite trigger. Oh well. Then we have this. I already talked about this. It's like really good counter rent, draw 1 and counter on a card broken. Then we have these 2 events. So this is like +1 to 3 of your dudes. So helps you with a wide board when you already have a wide board. And then give -2. So the -2 isn't actually very impactful because it's only -2. And it gives +1 to 3 characters, which is good when you already have a wide board. I think if you already have a wide board, you don't really need to be, you're probably not in a position where you need to play this card, you know? So although it's nice in theory, I think it just functionally doesn't make much sense, for this leader at least, so I wouldn't play it. And then also this one is much better. It's like a mini Gamma Knife. You give 2 -4, 2 cost -4, and then if you have 2 less life, which you probably will, your 4 life leader, you give +1 to a leader or character. So it's like mini Gamma Knife, +4, -4, +1. I can see the scene play. I can understand the scene play at some point. And also Mulgun. So it's might gives full cost -5, then if you have a 6k or more, 2k. So kills like full cost Reijus. And you can also give like -5 and then pop a 2, so you pop on like Teacher's Little Dudes. A very versatile card. I wouldn't be surprised again if this sees play at some point. Odyssey Impact -4, pop 6. Trigger pop 6, same as this event trigger. Much better at clearing 10k or less threats. But I think overall too costly for this deck. There's a big difference between 6 and 4 cost, which is why Roundtable is just always better than this is, even though it only killed rested characters. And then Luna's actually like a really good card for this deck. Just stunning all 7 costs or less that are rested. Obviously, you've seen Red Green Luffy's power in the meta. This is an amazing card in that deck. Pairs well this 4-cost Nami, which is again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's also a card I'd consider for this deck, because it's just a really overstacked green card. Chump blocker, 4-cost, that also like rest to 8 costs or less, so it's dead man's, and it's like a blocker as well, so you can play this and they not even have to commit to going lethal and just leave like 5 done up for like counter events and shit. What other counter events can we run right now? There's like nothing crazy. I guess there's always this. You can run this as well, off the Nami. It's a bit gimmicky, right? But this is like a really nice, well-stacked blocker. Counter event. This is what I would consider like I don't want to say core, but like more or less the core deck. I think almost every card here has to be played at some capacity. Maybe not all of them, mate. Probably cut down some, but this is generally what I'd be going for. You have like one cool space for any of the other cards. You can probably trim down on this. If the meta doesn't need it, you probably go down like one of these. And yeah, you can just go from there. This is what I like originally had. Then I'll get into some games. Thank you for watching, by the way, if you stayed this far. You listened to half an hour of me yap about this deck, which I appreciate immensely. Okay, we have a game into the big deck in the format, the big new deck. This hand is atrocious, what the hell? This hand is also shite. Where are my small searcher dudes? I played like 12 of them. Give me one. I think this is actually a really good matchup for us, just because of how aggressive we are, and then we also have the 4-cost Luffy to deny their 10-cost blocker bid. There we go. We already want a 4-cost for next time, so we just have to take this Luffy. Probably take an AK to the face or he parks a Burgess. We'll see. But yeah, we have no way to counter this, brother. And this is the breaking problem that I mentioned before. Look at this hand. But you find like one of Anchor and like suddenly you're pitching 3 breaks and that's really fine. Something I will say is I like to try to, if possible, keep one of these in hand for the for after they play their 10 cost, because when they play their 10 cost they stun this Luffy and then it doesn't get to attack, so like you can't rest their big dude. I'll give him a counter here. We have no 1 drop, so we can't even play Law, because we have to bounce our dude, which we're not going to do. But normally I try to keep it still after playing cost, so we can actually rest the 10 cost, but it doesn't matter much. So it's just 6, 6, 7, 7, because we're not going to counter this early. Don't be afraid to use this for the counter without the draw, but like, if you have to, but you'd rather not. Right? 7, 7. Oh, we didn't. That makes sense, actually. Did they get a regular character searcher? I don't think it did, actually. Because it has, like, the feat, but it has to rest itself. They have the stage and the event, but they don't have, like, just a regular 1-cost, look at top 5, grab a Blackbeard. They have, like, they have all the different versions of searches other than the regular ones, which is kind of strange. Or even an on-KO search. I'll just give him a counter hit. And then this is probably Shiryu, putting this into life. Yeah. Or maybe he trashes something he wants better. It will just be the Vasco. So Vasco's trigger will rest a 6 cost or less, meaning one of these won't attack. Or no, we'll just go face. Face is the place. And now if he takes this, he has to take a 6k. And if he doesn't take this, he takes it anyway. This is why we don't invest much into that swing, because he's probably going to take it anyway. We go well, this is a 7k, so we can go like 8-8. And that means he can't just trash and counter. He goes to big leader. Okay. Here, goes to 9 next turn. He puts 1 here. He goes 6-8. Holy shit! I should not have attached this down. Because now I actually have to take a 6. He's gonna play his 8 cost. He's gonna swing a 6-8, and I have no counter in hand. I should have just popped the stage. I was greedy. And now it means I'll drop 2 lives this turn, and I'll probably lose this game actually, which is fantastic. Oh, wait! Please get punished. Oh my god! Why would you do that? Maybe he's playing a 1 cost actually. That would make a lot of sense. So maybe we're actually okay. And we get rewarded for playing badly. Or maybe not badly, maybe we get rewarded for playing riskily. / stupidly, because I didn't think about it. We're still at 3 life, which is crazy, but he has to take several damage this turn. Oh, never mind. Fuck. Oh, we actually get this, meaning we can go this, law, and play this. Or we could even... What if we play this first? No, that wouldn't do anything. Okay. I guess we're playing these 2 anyway, so... Interesting. Does that change what I want to play off this law? I think it does, actually. I think I'd rather play this Bonnie given the choice. Or I'd rather play the ace. This is like when you're learning a deck, these are decisions you probably get wrong at the start, so this is why we obviously test beforehand. Do I even need to play the law? I probably should actually. It's a really good great card just to have for 1 extra don. I think I actually want to play the ace. So I play the ace and just like counter this, take this, and it's fine. So I'll pitch the other law, and we'll pitch the... I don't want to pitch the Bonnie though. I'll pitch this. We go like 7. No, we go 6 because he's probably in a redirect. He has like no cards in hand. Oh wow, he put that there. Okay, yeah, obviously. Now we go 7, he'll redirect it. So we can actually go 6 here. And then put the Don on our leader. To see if he redirects it anyway. Maybe he actually just saves us for next turn. Could do that. Yeah, maybe we go 7 here just to force him to... Pseudo-force him to do this effect. No, he just does anyway, so we get rewarded for putting... Because that's like part of the strength of the leader. You're not forced to put it onto him. You can put it anywhere. Because he's used leader effect, is there any way to kill this? But we need 7 Don, we have 2 Don remaining. 9, we can make it a 10. I think I'd just rather go like big number at face. And here, I know it seems weird, but I'm going to play this first to look for it to see if we find another counter event. And we do. Which means we just go 8. I don't think it actually matters. It just stops him from like pivoting into border. But look how much counter we have in this hand just because we filtered like 1 Ivankov. And that Ivankov is actually now back in my hand still. Because it is a card also, I forgot to mention it goes hand neutral. Oh. Is that a problem? Possibly, but look, we have an entire board now of all 7Ks that are going to like ask every card from our opponent next turn. Okay, he does this, so we have to kill him next turn, basically. This is the point in the game where... Oh wait, he didn't play 10 cost though. He played a heal card, which is probably like a trigger to stop 1 attack. Nothing we can do about that. I think we just have to kill him next turn, actually. I don't see a world where we live another turn. I guess I do see it. It's just not likely. 6, 6, 8, 10. Why are you going? He just lets me see what I draw first, and it just is so bad. It just gives me so much extra information. I actually don't mind countering this, because if we have to kill him anyway, we might as well see what we draw. Let me just give him a 2k afterwards. Because we're not going to go, we have a full board, we're not going to play over it likely. Actually, we could, like, put a lot of Don on the characters, like, on, like, our third to last swing, we put, like, an unusually high amount of Don, and then play over it, so the Don return rested, and then we get to give them. Sure. I mean, we're never living on the turn, right? We might as well take it. Free cycle. He's probably a bit confused, but it's fine. Oh, yeah, he has another one of these. Is my mum gonna come and take my laptop and scream at me? Because it's 11, possibly. So here, if it was 7, he'll just always take it. Or possibly actually, like, rock this, rest this. Doesn't draw one, oh, does draw one, okay, yeah, makes sense. Oh, kills a 5 cost, okay. That makes it so that we are probably gonna play a character. And then, like, redistribute the Don? Question mark? I don't have a lot of time, because I think I hear my mum downstairs, and she's gonna come take my laptop soon. Oh, so he kills this and gets to nullify this, meaning I don't get the extra Don. So what if I pay 5, and then go swing with it? Swing like 6k? Or like... And then play double Galdino. That gives like 4 on here, 4 on here. So we go like 6, 6, 7, 10, 10. He has redirect still, he can redirect 1. I think that makes the big swings like significantly worse, because he has to redirect 1 actually, I don't think that's good. I'll just go another 7, see what happens. I think if he redirects this, he actually probably just dies. 2 cards, I mean this is actually just guaranteed. What am I thinking about? I don't know why I thought this would be difficult. You just swing 7s and you kill them because you have an entire board. Duh. I think this bird this trigger was actually kind of shite. It didn't do anything. This card was like actually kind of, on paper it's really crazy, but because of just the way the leader functions, it's actually. So now I go 9. 9, 11, and because if he triggers, I get to triggers like a. Oh shit! Is he gonna have it? I should swing with this. No, doesn't make a difference. Oh, YOLO. Because I could have searched with that. It doesn't make a difference. If you have it, you have it, buddy. I think this lethal is like probably really bad, but I have to go soon. Oh no, where you have it, bro. Gee. Yeah, this thing was super bricky. Really good matchup for us. Like this lethal should not even really have been as close. If you just like find a creative way to use this or search a brook. Yeah, this is why I kind of want Precursor 2 off. It's so good on these lethal turns. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you watched that entire deck building thing, please let me know, because I don't know if people actually want me to go through all the tech cards. And if you enjoyed the game, yeah, subscribe, please, thank you.